Hello everyone, today we are going to discuss. Hello everyone, today I am going to show you a demo on municipal bonds which generates transaction wise balance sheet and which uses a centralized ledger. So let's start with the demo. In this municipal bond application there is one specialty. It uses the B2B process. What is B2B process? B2B process is basically the formula which is principal plus interest divided by tenor. So based on this the coupons are generated and each of the coupon for each of the year based on tenor is considered as a target basically. So we set targets based on coupons and that's how we generate the transaction wise balance sheet and which hits the centralized ledger. So let's start with primary market. Let's add a record for auctions. Let's enter auction date, which is 14th of December. Let's add the bond type as airport revenue bonds. Let's add the issuer type as Bombay Municipal Corporation. Let's add a bid. Let's choose the party as JP Morgan. Yield as 6%. Amount quoted as 200,000. Bill date as 14th of December 2014. Let's save the record. Let's add one more bid. Let's enter party code as Citibank. Yield as 5%. Amount quoted as 500,000 and bill date as 14th of December 2014. Let's save a record. So as far as this auction is concerned, the winner of the auction would be the bid number 50, which has a party code of number 2 because it has a minimum yield and the maximum amount quoted. So let's choose the winner of auction as Citibank, which is party code number 2. Let's choose the end date as 14th of December 2014. Let's save the transaction. So let's add registration now. Registration is nothing but registering the bond into the stock market. So let's add a record. Let's enter registration date as 14th of December 2014. Let's add the auction number, which is 21. Let's enter the custodian number as 1007. Registrar number as 56. Certificate serial number as 20089. Stock exchange as Bombay Stock Exchange. Let's save it. Now let's authorize the registration number 14. Let's authorize it. So it's authorized. So let's enter application form. Now let's enter details for application form. Let's add a record. So application number 39. Let's add the application date. 14th of December 2014. Let's use the counterparty as JP Morgan. Let's use the type of security as airport revenue bonds. Let's use the broker code, Citibank. Let's use the broker percentage as 2%. Amount invested as 600,000. Maturity date 3 years from application date, which is 14th of December 2017. Rate of interest is 7%, tenor as 3 years, and registration number is 14. So let's save a record. So application number 39 is saved. Now let's authorize application number 39. So it's authorized. So that finishes primary market processes. Now let's get into the secondary market and let's enter details for airport revenue bonds. Front office. So let's add a record. Number 32. Transaction date is 14th of December 2014. Application number is 39. Airline code is Air India. Terminal code is terminal A1. Revenue type as fines. Revenue amount as 3,000. Let's save a record. saved successfully. So let's authorize bond number 32. Airport revenue bonds, middle office. So bond number 32. So let's authorize. So here it is authorized now. So let's generate the coupon for bond number 32 now. So here it is, bond number 32, annual, generate coupons. So there it is, 3 coupons are generated for the tenure of 3 years at the rate of 7%. So what is happening here is that based on the compound interest, a settlement amount is being generated by these coupons. So that settlement amount is basically divided divided into 3 coupons basically. So that's how it happens, and the speciality of these coupons is that it is based on a formula basically. So it is principal plus interest divided by tenor. So the tenor is 3 years, the 3 coupons are being generated annually. So that's what is the B2B process, and in this B2B process, each of this coupon here is considered to be a target basically for purchase account, sales account, and settlements, which are payables basically. So we set the targets for all these 3 accounts, and then we generate transaction wise balance sheet based on settlement. So let's save that these coupons. Save successfully. So let's perform EOD now. Before we go to the EOD, let's view the coupons for bond number 32. So bond number 32, retrieve. So here are the 3 coupons that we generated. So now we will have to run the EOD for these 3 coupon dates. So let's generate EOD. So let's do it for 14th of December 2015. So the EOD for 14th of December 2015 is generated. Now let's do it for 14th of December 2016. So it's done. Now let's do it for 14th of December 2017. So it's generated successfully. So we have generated coupons for all 3 dates. Now let's check whether they have been processed or not by seeing the EOD end of the day processed basically. So here it is. We have generated for 14th of December 2015, 14th of December 2016 and 14th of December 2017. So we are ready for settlement now. So let's go to the back office. Airport Revenue Bonds, back office, bond number 32. So let's settle it on 14th of December 2017. To settle. Save successfully. So the settlement is over now. So we expect the balance sheet for bond number 32 to tally. So let's enter bond number 32, bond type airport revenue bonds. Let's retrieve. So there it is, the balance sheet tallying. Now the speciality of this balance sheet is that what these figures that you see here, these 3 figures here and these 3 figures here, they are nothing but the coupon amounts that we generated. So when the balance sheet is generated, it is an indication that these particular coupons have been met as a target. So the target that we had set while we generated the coupons, that has been met, and these 3 coupon amounts are being debited from this amount. That is, this amount is basically the amount that we got generated based on compound interest at the rate of 7% for the period of 3 years, based on this amount, which is the receivables. So this receivables is nothing but the amount that the investor had paid to the investment banker. So based on this, the compound interest gets calculated and this amount is being generated, and then these three amounts are being debited from this account. So this B2B process is nothing but it is an extension to a B2C process. So in B2C process, what we do is we basically divide the interest by the tenor and then later on pay the principal. So it works differently to B2B basically. So in B2B we have principal plus interest divided by tenor, and the concept of B2B is totally different to B2C. In B2C we actually pay this amount to the investor, that is the consolidated settlement amount credit is being paid back to the investor. But as far as B2B is concerned, B2B we set the targets basically. We could set our own targets. So we generate this amount. Now the best part is that when the interest is divided by the tenor, the component that we get in form of coupons is much lesser than this amount. So the B2B coupons are considered to produce higher yield, which is evident now, which you can see it. These figures are definitely higher than what the interest divided by tenor looks like. So that's why we choose B2B, and that's how it works. So finally we see here that the balance sheets are tallying here. So that's how it works, B2B. And the best part about this balance sheet is that it can be saved as in many different formats. So here you see text with head txt format, XLS, text with headers, HTML table, XML, PDF, CSV and CSV with headers. So these are the basic formats in which this report can be saved. So this ends the airport revenue process. So there are other processes as well in this municipal bonds. So starting with the general obligation. So even all the other processes work on the similar fundamental to what airport revenue bonds work. So I will be just showing you the inputs for the other bond types. So this is for general obligation bond. These are the inputs for the general obligation bond. Then let's check for hospital revenue bonds. So these are the inputs for hospital revenue bonds. These are the inputs for single family mortgage revenue bonds. These are the inputs for multifamily revenue bonds. These are the inputs for industrial development and pollution control revenue bonds. These are the inputs for public power revenue bonds. These are the inputs for resource recovery revenue bonds. These are the inputs for seaport revenue bonds. These are the inputs for sewage, basically sewage revenue bonds. These are the inputs for sport complex revenue bond. These are the input for toll road and gas revenue bonds. These are the inputs for water revenue bonds. These are the input for college university bonds. Then we have hybrid and special bond securities. So we have dedicated, tax backed and structured asset backed. So these are the inputs for structured asset backed bonds. This is for crossover refunded bond. This is for pre-refunded bond. This is for escrow to maturity. This is for insured bonds. So these are the inputs for insured bonds. These are the inputs for lease-backed bonds. These are the inputs for letter of credit-backed bonds. These are the inputs for life care bonds. These are the inputs for moral obligation bond. These are the inputs for municipal utility district bonds. These are for tax allocation bonds. So these are the inputs for tax allocation bond. And finally we have troubled city bailouts. So these are the inputs for troubled city bailout bonds. So this ends the session for the municipal bonds, which generates a transaction wise balance sheet as I showed you before, and it uses the centralized ledger basically. So that's the end of the demo.